Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Fighter and the Analyst. I'm your host, GK, the Fight Analyst, and this here is my man, the Joker himself, Peter Petties. What's up, bro?
Life is good, man. Life is good. I cannot complain. Training's been going great. Weight's been looking good, so cannot complain. No complaints in 2021 right now.
Absolutely, man. You look shredded from what we've been seeing on social media, so that's great. How was your holidays going? How was your New Year's, your Christmas? How was all that?
Everything's been good. I am shredded right now. That's the kind of scary thing. It's just been peaking. One of the big things I did was New Year's resolution, and I have given up all of my vices, which means I am no longer eating fast food. I'm not drinking anything. Nothing until I signed that UFC contract. That is my New Year's resolution. And It's been good, man. I've been following my fitness VT diet. Shout out to Lockhart and the staff. It's been great. I've been peaking. I'm walking around at 170 now. Just to put in perspective, I was at 215 when I went to Florida. I am now solid 170. Life is good. We possibly have a fight on the horizon in 2 weeks. I don't know. This is like fresh off the press news. So I'm hoping the guy takes the fight and we have a fight in 2 weeks. That would be great.
In 2 weeks? Like your short notice fight?
January 30th. But I'm always training, so
I'm not saying that. I'm just like, oh shit, you're gonna be fighting soon, kind of shit.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, when I think about it, I've been in fight camp for the last 3-4 months. If you count Tefan, you know what I mean?
Right.
I've been doing sparring rounds with him as well as doing the early morning workouts with him, late night workouts. And, Sadiq, he's been having an ongoing training camp, just waiting for an opponent at this point. And I just been through the whole process. And I'm in shape. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. All the viewers can see the change in my face, so I'm very excited. I'm hoping this one goes through and be exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, is it going to be on a bigger stage? Possibly. I know you can't really give out too much details, but is it one of the
I don't think I can talk too much, but I can say it will be down your way, down in Florida.
I know.
Yeah, and then one of my boys is the main event. I think that gives a clue.
I know exactly where and when. I know all of that. So yeah, I got you. And I'm hoping for it, man. I hope you come down this way. That's only a couple hours away, so maybe we could chop it up afterwards if that's the case. But we'll see. I'm stoked. I'm hoping they signed the contract, but then again, a lot of people don't want to sign the contract against you, so we'll see if that happens. So that's gonna be good. But, people are scared, man. People are scared of you.
Sometimes I understand it's a business, man. You got to protect your records, unfortunately.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to take chances.
Oh, I know.
But like so you can't be scared all your life, because when you do get that call, what's gonna happen? Reality is going to hit you square in the mouth, and you're like, well, I shouldn't be here. And that's what's going to happen to some of these guys. That's what does happen to a lot of these guys that come in and think they're UFC caliber, 7-0, 6-0, 8-0, whatever the case may be. And they finally fight some of these UFC caliber fighters. They get punched in the mouth, and that's the first and last time you've ever heard of them.
But 100%.
But yeah, man, I'm glad to be back. Fights are back. We're on a 3-week hiatus. It's been a fucking long time without sports. It was so long that I was so hyped to see that Ryan Garcia fight against Campbell. So I'm just ready to get back into the swing of things. Especially this year, we're going hard body. We're doing a ton of content. We're going to be making a ton of money, and I am so looking forward to it. So let's get down right now with the breakdown. All right, I think the first fight up on the card is in the featherweight division, in a fight between Austin Lingo and Jacob Kilburn. Right now, Lingo is a minus 225 favorite, and the comeback on Kilburn is a plus 205 underdog. Who do you got in this one?
Man, I think this fight is very hard to choose. Honestly, I thought they were the same person, as bad as it sounds. like Lingo, Kilburn, I literally thought they were the same person. But I think it's really more of a toss up. I'm actually surprised you said Lingo that is 230 under favorite. So
I
yeah,
agree.
I'm really sitting on this, but I do think the value is Kilburn and to throw $25 or something on them. So I'm going with I'm sitting personally, if I'm recommending and value wise, definitely throw something on Kilburn, but do not take Lingo at minus 230.
Yes. Yeah, so you see this fight exactly how I do. I don't know why he's a minus 225 favorite. He was a massive, I think, minus 250, minus 300 favorite against Alal on short notice. We seen what happened in that fight. He was dominated from bell to bell. Then Kilburn, yeah, he's 8-3. He's not a world beater, but the the guys that beat Kilburn are guys that take him down and submit him. All three losses are by submission. He hasn't lost a kickboxing match yet. He took about a year and a half off to come down here and train an 8 America top team. So he's taking his training seriously. He moved from a smaller gym to a bigger gym to train with some of the best guys in the world, get some great coaching. So I think we're going to see a lot better game plan out of him. We're going to see a better Kilburn as well. I don't know why I see everybody just taking Lingo inside the distance, Lingo to win. He's going to run all over him. I just don't see it. I mean, Lingo has shown me nothing, even on the regional scene, that he's a guaranteed win at minus 225. I think this line is a little absurd. I think the fight's going to be a lot closer than what the line shows. I'm not going to bet this fight, but we want to give out, a side here. I think Kilburn is the side. He's plus 205. I think you get decent odds on him. And I think a lot of people are going to get burned betting on such a massive favorite to come out in the first fight of the night. I just don't see it. All right, next up we have a fight in the women's bantamweight division between Sarah Morris and Vanessa Mello. Right now, Morris is a minus 192 favorite, and the comeback on Vanessa Mello is a plus 177 underdog. Who do you got?
Another tough one. I think this is loser gets kicked out for the most part. I think they're both on a losing streak. Another one I'm sitting on. It just seems like a coin flip. I know one thing that I have on my phone, which is the app live betting. This is one of those fights that I'm just gonna watch it live, and whoever I feel after the first round has it, maybe I'll play something there. But honestly, I don't really know much about either one. I know. I think it was Morales who most recently fought Sarge. One of them most recently fought Sarge. I think it was.
It was Morris, I think.
Yeah, Morris, and she didn't look bad. I think she stood in there. She took her shots. I don't really know much about the other girl, so I think it's just going to be a sloppy fight. If anything, I think the value's the decision on this fight. Over 2.5 or whatever it is. But outside of that, not really expecting too much from this fight.
Yeah, this is a fight I want absolutely nothing to do with. Both female fights I want absolutely nothing to do with. I don't trust my money on Morris at minus 192. I don't trust Mello to cash in as an underdog, and I don't trust the other two women fighters either with my money. These it's about picking our spots, and this is not one of the spots that I want to bet my money on. I'm completely passing. I would take the over 2.5 rounds if it wasn't juiced to the gills at almost minus 400. But yeah, this is a total pass situation. But if I'm leaning towards the side, I think Morris probably will be the winner here. All right, next up, we have a fight in the welterweight division between David Zawada and Ramazan Amiv. Right now, Amiv is a minus 270 favorite, and the comeback on Zawada is a plus 248 underdog. Who do you got?
This is a tough one. I think this is really good matchmaking on this fight. However, with that said, I think I'm leaning towards Zawada for the upset on this one. And main reason I'm looking at it, I think it was Amiv. He lost to Anthony Rocco Martin not too long ago. And if I had to think stylistically wise, I think the value in stylistically on Zawada will not hurt. So I'm going with them on this one.
I understand the dog play. It's a decent dog play, but
I'm not playing it, by the way. I'll add that asterisk. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
oh, okay.
This
Because
is not one of those dogs that I'm co-signing. I'm just saying the values there. I'll
no,
let
I
you
got.
know when I co-sign my dogs.
I just I think Amiv is gonna be able to take down Zawada quite handily. I think he only defends like 62% of his takedowns. He got taken down by Khabib's cousin Abu Bakar. I can't really say his name. Got taken down, but then he got caught in a triangle choke. That's not going to happen against Ramazan Amiv. He's a very well versed grappler. He's very good at defensive striking as well. I think his opponents are only landing 32% from distance against him. Doesn't throw a ton of volume, but doesn't get hit a lot. Majority of the time, he's just in trying to get his opponents to the ground. But granted, I know he lost that fight against Anthony Rocco Martin, but Rocco Martin, he's immensely better than Zawada. Zawada would never beat Anthony Martin in a fight. I think this is and then mind you, he came back and beat another guy after that loss to Martin. I think Amiv goes in there and just grapples him for the entirety of 15 minutes, keeps him on the mat, keeps against the cage, and does that rinse and repeat type of game plan to a decision. I mean, all his fights have gone to a decision. He hasn't been finished in his UFC career. I think he's 5-1 in his UFC time, and I don't think Zawada is really a big step of a competition. I think Amiv does deserve, maybe a fringe top 15 type of fighter to fight against, and Zawada is nowhere near that. He fought well against Martin. Unfortunately, Martin fought better. He was able to get up and land more strikes, and I don't see Zawada being to get back up and land more strikes just like Martin did. So I'm taking Amiv here. I think he wins a decision, which is -110. I think he's a decent parlay piece as well. All right. Next up, we have a fight in the heavyweight division between Carlos Felipe and Justin Tafa. Right now, Felipe is a -190 favorite, and the comeback on Tafa is a +175 underdog. Who do you got?
This is one of my most confident plays, and I'm going Carlos Felipe, man. I really liked this fight with Jorgen. I really saw how fast his hands were. His hands were really fast. He looked good on some of the takedown defense. Big thing I will say, I can't tell if Jorgen was overhyped or if Carlos Felipe is decent, but I will say just his personality all throughout the fight when he was complaining about Jurgen not really standing in there and everything. I like the guy, so I'm going Felipe on this one. This is one of my more confident plays.
I am not betting on this fight because I've told myself time and time again, I'm not betting on low-level heavyweight fights. I'm not doing it, and this is one of them. I've been burned too many times. I have to
Jay.
stay. I had to stay true to my game plan this year. Don't bet on low-level women fights, and don't bet on low-level heavyweight fights. And I'm staying far, far away. But if I'm looking to take a pick, if I'm giving a side here, I'm leaning towards Tafa at +175 because nothing's showing me that Felipe should be a -190 favorite against literally anybody. Yes, I know there's MMA math, and he beat Jorge De Castro, who Jorge De Castro knocked out Tafa, but this is a completely different fight. And then we've seen, I don't know what happened to Jorgen after the Hardy fight. It's just everything kind of went downhill from there. But Tafa's one to come in there and bang. He wants to bang it out. And he's actually, from what I've seen, he's actually much bigger than Felipe. I thought Felipe was a big dude. But then I saw the weigh-ins. I'm like, oh, Tafa's actually pretty much bigger than him. And then I realized he fought Jorgen. That's why he looks so big, because Jorgen's one of the smallest heavyweights on the roster.
Yeah.
So it's not a play that I'm going to go and bet. But +175 is kind of enticing in a fight that's, I think it's essentially a 50-50. I think Felipe pretty much has to be on his bike and just try to outstrike Tafa, and he doesn't want to stand in the pocket with Tafa. Tafa's got some crazy, that's Samoan power that he's got going on there. So, but if Felipe comes in there and fights like he did De Castro, he can look phenomenal. But if he comes in there with the confidence that he wants to go out there and bang it out, that's a very bad thing.
Yeah.
Don't want that. All right. I like I said, I'm not betting on that fight. I'm steering clear of low level heavyweight fights. I want nothing to do with it, and this is one of them. All right, so next up we have a fight in the women's strawweight, not a strawweight, yeah, no strawweight, no flyweight division, between Wu Yanan and Jocelyn Edwards. It's an absolute pick'em fight, -105 across the board. So who do you got?
Honestly, it's tough, man. I mean, I'm not sure I can get myself to bet on someone who lost to Gina Mazzani, or I'm gonna butcher her name, but yeah, I really can't get myself to bet on someone like that. But I don't want to bet on anyone that I have no tape on, realistically, or no research. I can say the one thing that made me want to bet on Edwards is the fact that she's managed by Ali. So I'm like, maybe, Ali doesn't just manage anyone, so she
That's true.
has to be decent. So, if I'm taking it right now, I'm leaning towards Edwards just off the Ali backing, honestly.
Yeah, I could see that. Like I said, I'm not betting this fight. There's no way you're gonna make me bet on this fight. I don't care. I don't trust my money on either one of these two. I played a little bit on the over 2.5 rounds because I think they should at least make it to a decision, maybe, hopefully. Um, but yeah, if I had to take a side, I'd probably go with Jocelyn Edwards, but it's not one I can be overly confident in whatsoever. I don't have much tape on her at all, and Wu Yunan I just don't have any type of confidence in whatsoever either. So moving on, I don't want to really touch base too much onto that. Moving on in the middleweight division, I think this is the first fight on the main. No, this is the featured bout on the prelims. In the middleweight division, we have a fight between Phil Hawes and Nasruddin Imavov. Right now, Hawes is a -117 favorite, and the comeback on Imavov is a +107 underdog. Who do you got?
And this is a tough one because it's like Phil has been surging at this point. But I feel like we're gonna get that natural Phil letdown, possibly.
That's true.
It's just one of those where I'm probably not touching this. As much as I like Phil in this fight, just off his recent streak, how good he's looked. This is another one I just gotta watch it live, man. I have to watch it live. I'm not even gonna touch it in the distance, but we'll see. I'll let you break it down. What do you have?
Well, I don't have either one of these two. This is a prime live betting opportunity here. I want to see what happens in round one. Yeah, it could happen where Hawes comes in and starts in round one, and then there goes the bet. But if we see that Hawes is slowing down after round one, but he wins round one, you might get some value on Imavov in round two in a live bet. Or we see that Hawes won round one, but he's not really gassing out. He still looks fresh. He still looks like he's in there, and he could possibly keep going and possibly get the win, and then we can bet on Hawes. It's a fight that I want to feel out in that first round. I want to see who's doing what, how they're implementing their game, and then go from there because Hawes he has the power and the grappling advantages. But the big letdown is his cardio. It has been atrocious throughout his entire MMA career. We don't know how his cardio is because we haven't seen him go deeper into fights just yet. In his during his win streak, and we've seen Imavov go a hard 15 minutes with Jordan Williams. We're talking a hard 15 minutes. So he's got the cardio to go 15 minutes with pretty much anybody. So if he can withstand the power within the first round, and then Hawes' cardio is kind of depleted, he's going to absolutely run away with it. He can maybe even get a third round finish, second round finish. And that's where you can even get more. You even get more value, especially in a live bet. You can live bet Imavov to win inside the distance after round one, and then you can get some great value there. So prime live betting opportunity here. I can't really decide who to bet pre-fight. So this is a fight that I'm not even looking to bet pre-fight at all. I'm waiting after round one, and I'm gonna just observe and see where can I snag and who can I snag live after round one. All right, next up, first fight on the main card is in the middleweight division between Dusko Todorovic and Punahali Soriano. Right now, Todorovic is a minus 155 favorite, and the comeback on Soriano is a plus 145 underdog. Who do you got?
And I originally was hoping that Dusko was the underdog and hoping people hopped on the Puna train. I will say I thought Dusko. I do think Dusko's a little boring, but he gets the job done. And I think for a guy like Puna, who's relatively unproven in the UFC right now, let alone his path to get there, I think he beat. I can't remember who he beat on the Contender Series, but just relatively unproven. He got in at 5-0. There's a lot of things we have to see before I personally put any money on him. So if I had to choose, I'm going with Dusko on this one.
Yeah, I'm going with the same. Dusko also fought better competition on the regional scene as well. I mean, Soriano is, I think, a good prospect. I don't know why they're really putting these two against each other because I think they're both pretty good prospects. Dusko has shown he's a good striker. He looked much better in his fight against Daquan Townsend than he did against Teddy Ash on the Contender Series. He was flat in that Contender Series fight. He was gassed out, and he looked super good against Daquan Townsend. I know Townsend's not, the greatest level of competition, but he did what he had to do, and he starched him in the second round, and he beat him to a bloody pulp. And mind you, he's one of the few guys that actually finished Townsend, so that's a good feat there.
Yep.
Soriano, he's got some good power. He's got some good wrestling. He's very powerful, but I feel like he's super untested. He's not technically sound. You can see in the knockout of I forgot who he fought. I forgot who it was, but somebody who gets knocked out all the time. But he was just winging hooks. It wasn't really technical, and the dude was just standing in there in the pocket and backed up against the cage, and he just took a shot and went down. I don't see how that's gonna work against Todorovic. I don't see that he's gonna be able to take him down and overpower him. And I think Dusko's gonna be able to out strike him, out cardio him, and just beat him for 15 minutes and take a decision here. I do like the over 1.5 rounds. I think it's minus 165. Also think that's a pretty good play as well. And I'm going with what's the name here? I'm going with Dusko Todorovic. All right. So next up, we have a fight in the middleweight division again, between Joaquin Buckley and an Alessio Di Chirico. Right now, Buckley's a minus 270 favorite, and the comeback on Di Chirico is a plus 248 underdog. Who do you got?
Man, as much as I want to fade Buckley, I don't think I'm fading him in this one. So I'm going Buckley. I don't know if we're going to see a KO, maybe unanimous decision or split decision. I think it's going to be a sloppy fight, but I'm going Buckley, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my more confident plays on the card. UFC is finally doing the right thing and hyping up a fighter the right way. They're not giving him just this massive step up in competition, throwing him against a ranked opponent, somebody that can really beat him. I know they did that in his first fight into the UFC, and that's because they needed someone to fight Holland on like 6 days' notice after fighting 6 days prior to that. So there's no fault there, and he's looked phenomenal since then. And because I think that fight, with Impa, he was going to beat him without of that knockout. He won round one. He looked good in round two, and I think he could have taken the decision against Impa without that knockout. But that knockout really blasted him into stardom. And then
I actually Buckley in that Kevin Holland fight.
Yeah, me too. I took him there too, but then I went against him with Impa like an idiot. But it is what it is. And then he came back and he started Jordan Wright. People were fading him there. And now we're coming up to Alessio Di Chirico, who hasn't won a fight in like 2 years. He's 0-3 in his last 3 fights. He's fought his only 2 wins in his UFC career against guys that haven't fought in like 3 years. Julian Marquez, who will be fighting shortly, and then a guy who got released by the UFC. So he hasn't beaten anybody. He hasn't come close to beating anybody. He got dropped by Zach Cummings in his last fight to the point where he almost got knocked out. He was lucky it was at the end of the fight. So I think Buckley has this all day. I don't see what Alessio is going to do other than try to hug him against the cage, because that's literally his only path to victory is just containing him against the cage. He's not going to get a takedown because Buckley actually has pretty good takedown defense. It's about 100% right now. He's super strong. He's super athletic. He's an absolute powerhouse in the brute. And I think it's just going to put a hurting on Alessio. This is not the time to fade Buckley right now. Once he gets that top 15 type fighter, that's when it's going to be okay. Depending on the price, if the price is right, we might be able to fade him there, but it's definitely not the right time. The UFC is doing the right thing. They're giving him a step up, but not too big of a step up. Just a veteran guy that's middle of the pack, hasn't won in forever. And then they're probably doing this just to give Alessio his walking papers after this loss, because they really don't want Buckley to lose this fight. They don't want Buckley to lose. They have so much momentum riding on him. They have so much money riding on him. There's no reason why they should give him a fight that he's going to lose.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have a fight in the welterweight division between Santiago Ponzinibbio and Li Jingliang. Ponzinibbio is finally back, minus 300 favorite, and Lee is a plus 270 underdog. Who do you got?
Man, I'm rolling with Ponzinibbio. I don't care about ring rust, nothing. I think Lee is a little overhyped. I will say he has some decent wins, but I do think Neil Magny exposed a lot of his game. And I think the one thing about it is Ponzinibbio, I believe, beats him in every realm of this fight, whether it's standing, on the ground, any portion of that fight. So I'm all on the negative 300 Ponzinibbio on this one.
Yeah, I wish he wasn't minus 300, especially given that he's been out for 2.5 years, off of multiple injuries. It's not ideal, but he's gonna win this fight. I think it could go over the 1.5 round mark though. I think Lee is tough enough to not get finished within the first 7.5 minutes, and I do think Ponzinibbio is going to need some time to adjust in that first round. He's going to need to feel out the ring. He's going to need to feel out his opponent. He may even drop the first round just because he's feeling it out, and Lee might be able to, just land a little bit more, but nothing too crazy. But I think he'll pick it up at rounds 2 and 3 and possibly get a decision win. But yeah, I think Ponzinibbio should just take this one pretty handily. All right. Next up, we're in the co-main event of the evening. This is going to be an absolute banger of a fight that should have happened years ago, but here it is, 2021. We still got them. It's a fight between Carlos Condit and Matt Brown. Right now, Condit is on minus 170 favorite, and the comeback on Matt Brown's a plus 150 underdog. Who do you got?
As much as I won't want to do this pick, I'm going Matt Brown, man. I am going Matt Brown, and only because of strength of relative schedule, relatively recent schedule. I think he just, he fought, which one? Caramel Thunder or whatever, little chocolate guy in Florida. He fought him.
He fought him and got blasted, but go ahead.
But he destroyed Diego Sanchez in 2017. He ground and pounded Ben Saunders. If you look at what is Carlos Condit's recent win, Court McGee, and he looked horrible. And they both looked horrible in that fight. But Carlos Condit did not look like Carlos Condit. So I'm going Matt Brown on this. I'm not saying I'm putting my money.
Okay.
My pick is Matt Brown. Okay. I am not putting no dollars or anything on this fight.
At least you say that.
A main event.
All right. At least you say that, because I'm putting some decent money on Carlos Condit here. I think he's going to absolutely beat the shit out of Matt Brown and end his career, put him into retirement. There's no reason Matt Brown should be fighting. He's 40 years old. coming off an injury, coming off a surgery in July. Carlos Condit, yeah, he didn't look the great, but he looked way better than Matt Brown. Matt Brown got folded like a lawn chair. Then he had to go into surgery
Carlos
in July.
Condit would get folded by the same guy.
No, okay. By the way, Carlos Condit fought. Who did Carlos Condit fight his entire career? List
No,
of.
I'm not saying his entire career. I'm
Yeah,
not
but like,
going career. I'm saying now.
Who's
I'm
finished?
saying now.
Who's finished Carlos Condit?
I'm just saying now, man. I don't wanna have to text you tomorrow saying I tried to save you. I tried. Do not do this bet. Do not.
I
Let
am.
me help you.
It's already set. It's set in stone.
It's set in stone. Oh gosh.
It's set in stone. It's already done. I'm all over Condit here. I don't see what Matt Brown's gonna do. He looks old.
All right, why don't we do on air a friendly $5 bet?
Okay.
Friendly $5 bet. I will go. I got Matt Brown. You go Carlos Condit.
I'm good with it. I'm okay with it. Friendly $5 bet. We'll do it.
Yeah, but lunchtime bet. You can get a nice meal. There you go.
I'm cool with it. I like it. We do this. All right. But look, this is how I see it playing out. Carlos Condit, yes, he's 1-5 in his one. Yeah, I think it's 1-5 in his last 6. Fought world beaters beyond Court McGee. World beaters. Every single one of those guys would have beaten Matt Brown with absolute relative ease. Michael Chiesa, Robbie Lawler, fucking every single one of them. It wouldn't even been a contest. It wouldn't even been remotely close. The Robbie Lawler fight, he landed double the amount of strikes. He should have won that fight. So technically, he should have been 2-4 in his last 6. But it is what it is. He got the L there. But Carlos Condit loses to grapplers. He doesn't lose to strikers, especially an old man in Matt Brown. Matt Brown also has his own gym. He started and opened his own gym. So that's taking priority in his life right now. He's not training with UFC, Bellator, PFL, LFA. He's not training with a single high-level caliber team behind him. He's training on his own with his team or whoever he's got going into his gym and training with him because he's worried about training and making money at his own gym. He's not going and getting absolute world-class, training camp for this fight. The dude doesn't look great. He looks old. He looks withered. Like I said, he got folded. Yes, I know he got folded against a top 15 competitor or going to be top 15 fighter, a very good fighter. But and then, mind you, he has surgery a month later in July. So this is his first fight post surgery in July. 6 months after that. And Carlos Condit went in, beat the shit out of Court McGee, knocked him down twice. He looked actually good. He's 4 years younger than Matt Brown. He looks in much better shape than Matt Brown. He's got an actual fight camp behind him instead of Matt Brown. So I think Carlos Condit's going to run away with this. I mean, Matt Brown has not seen the judges since 2015. He's not won a decision since 2012. The dude's been finished in 4 of his last 6 fights. I mean, the writing is on the wall. The man wants to retire. He wants his last payday, and this is going to be his last payday to put into his new business, the Immortal MMA Gym or something like that. Kudos to him for a long, great career. But his time is up. It's over, and this is going to be his last fight. He's going to retire, and he's even said that. And then Carlos Condit, the dude I feel like he looks revitalized. He looks fresh. He's not super old. He's only come on. There's guys that are 36 years old that are still technically in their prime. They're still doing well. Maybe he can turn the corner here, get another win, just get some momentum going. The guy only fought 3 months ago, so he's trying to stay active. He looks in great shape, and I think he's just going to put it to Matt Brown. I think he's going to take him out of there within 2 rounds. That's how I see it. I'm very confident in Carlos Condit here. I just don't see what Matt Brown's going to do, especially in a striking.
You have turned my thoughts. However, I'm sticking to my guns. We already virtually shook hands.
No, we're good, man. I mean, that's how I see it. I could totally be wrong here. Matt Brown could shut me the fuck up. He could come in there and be the first ever person. We're talking ever to stop Carlos Condit inside the distance. I don't see it, but he could do it. He could do it. Anything can happen. It's MMA. But the way I've seen it, Carlos Condit, he just looks the better fighter. He looks the fresher fighter. He is the more diverse striker. He hasn't never been knocked out. He's never had any chin issues ever in his entire career. The only time he got stopped by, it wasn't even strikes, it was due to injury, was against Tyron Woodley in his prime. I think it was like a knee injury or something like that. It's the only time. Other times it was by submission. And Matt Brown's like a turn into a jiu-jitsu black belt world champion here. So I don't know. I got Carlos Condit here, and I feel very confident in this place. So hopefully he doesn't burn me here betting on a 36-year-old Carlos Condit, but we will see. We will see. All right, and we're finally up to the main event of the evening, and we're talking about one of the best fights. What a great fight to start the new year. Then this one right here, or Max Blessed Holloway and the Boston finisher Calvin Kattar. Holy shit. What a fucking fight. This is going to be insanity. You're talking about 400 strikes. He's probably going to be landed between these two fighters. And it's going to be fucking insane. Who do you got?
Man, this is a tough one. It's very hard to bet against Max Holloway, man. And even, I'd say the MMA masses, other than the 3 judges who scored that fight, gave it to Max Holloway on his title fight. So very well, this should be a title fight. But the end of the day, I like Calvin, but I'm not going to bet against the blessed one. I'm going with Max Holloway. But this is a toss-up. I don't even know if I'm playing this one. It's another one where I just want to enjoy the fight. This is one of those where I could see Max, but that volume is just so, the pace that he keeps. And in my head, I'm the same guy who won on that Volkanovski bet. And I was like, he lost. I felt bad. That's one of those bets where you win and you feel bad that you won because you're like, Max Holloway won that,
Right.
So it's very hard to bet against him. And I think if he comes out the way he came out against Volkanovski, where I was shocked, I was like, he said he did his whole training camp in quarantine. He didn't spar at all. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm fading him, and he looked better than the first performance. So he's saying similar things in interviews, saying, oh, I'm not sparring as much. But you know what? Maybe he's found his groove. And I like Calvin Kattar's boxing. I think his striking is very high level. Those New England guys, you could see with my Rob Font bet that he starts Marlon Morales.
That was a good one.
I think one of those things is they have that striking thing. And it's one of those things that I try and tell people there's levels. There are levels to striking. It's the same thing with Conor and Dustin. There are levels, man, where you can pinpoint that chin. It's back to what Israel said. You don't throw in hope. When you know. I think Calvin has that right hand, but it's going to be interesting because you're going against a guy with championship experience. He's been in there with the best. So you have someone who has come up short in his big fights, I guess, against what was the guy, the Russian guy, Zabit. Yes, that could have, if that went 5 rounds, maybe we're talking a different story and Kattar wins that. But, I'm going with Max Holloway. You can't really question somebody who's been in the UFC since 20 going against a guy, who's still up and coming. And, yeah, going with the blessed one, man, Max Holloway.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same here. I think it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be an absolute barn burner. One of the best fights you could probably start off the year with. Max looked great on the scales. If you haven't seen, he actually looked like he gained some muscle. Actually, he looked really good. I know he kind of was drawn out in the face, but as far as body-wise, he looked bigger than he normally would at 145 pounds. So I think he looks in great shape coming into this fight. Yes, he's coming off a loss, but in a loss where, like you said, majority of the public thought he won. Majority of the fighters thought he won. Everybody thought he got robbed. I want to bet on Volkanovski as well. Doesn't mean I think he won the fight. Sometimes you got to get lucky, but I think he looked phenomenal. He looked really good in that second fight. Really good. He did fade towards the end of the fight, and that's mainly because Volkanovski went for 8 takedown attempts, made Max work to defend them and get back up, and it kind of took a toll on him. That's not going to happen in this fight. Max Holloway can strike with anybody for 25 minutes. You strike with him, he's got the cardio to strike for like 10 rounds. It's not like he's got it. You don't do anything about it, he's not going to stop. He's going to keep throwing. You're talking about he went up to 155 on short notice. He actually landed more strikes against Dustin Poirier over a 25-minute period. He didn't get knocked down. He landed almost 200 strikes. You're talking about a guy that's never, ever been knocked down in his entire career. We're talking about a guy that absorbed over 900 strikes and it's never, ever been knocked down, not one time. There's 2 other fighters that's absorbed as many strikes. They've been knocked out 4 times, at least 4 times. So that shows the dude is battle tested. He's got a chin on him. And I just don't see Calvin Kattar going to be the first one to put him away. Calvin Kattar is coming in thinking he's saying that he's going to be the first one to do it. But, he didn't put Zabit away. He didn't put Moicano away. He didn't put Dan Ige away. So, it's not a guy that has like some Ngannou type power at 145 pounds. He's got some precision. He's got some power, but I don't think he's going to do it. I'm sticking with Max here. I think he's still the top of the heap. And I think Volkanovski, Max Holloway is going to eventually happen again once Volkanovski beats Brian Ortega, which he will. And then I think he has to go up against Zabit. I think he beats those 2, and then we get a Max rematch after that. Because I feel like that third match has to happen. Just so everybody can just shut up and we'll see who's the best in the world. I still think Max is on the top of his game. Like I said, he looked phenomenal in that second fight. And I just don't think that Calvin's going to be the one to do it. And then on top of it, Max added a whole new, element to his game. He's now throwing kicks. He's thrown almost 90 leg kicks in the last 2 fights against Volkanovski. He threw over 50 in his last fight alone. And mind you, Calvin Kattar has only thrown 52 leg kicks in his entire 8-fight UFC career. The most he's thrown in one single fight was 17. So if Max comes and uses that element into his game, I think it's going to play massive dividends in this fight. So I'm really hoping he doesn't go away from it because it's not just Volkanovski he's fighting, but I think he's smart enough to know going against a boxer, using those kicks is going to help him a lot in this fight. So I'm sticking with Max Holloway here. I think he's minus 150 right now, which, like I said, I think that's a little disrespectful. It's kind of like when he fought Brian Ortega. It was a pick'em fight, which is also disrespectful. And look what he did. He showed Brian Ortega how to keep his hands up mid-fight. So fucking crazy. So that's the type of level Max is at, and I still think he's levels above Calvin Kattar here, because you're going from Jeremy Stevens to Dan Ige to Max Holloway. It's a big step up in competition. So we'll see what happens, but I'm overly excited for this fight. I'm super excited for this entire event. Fights are back. Money is back. 3 fights in 1 week coming up. This is going to be fucking bonkers. But before we go, I need you to give out your best bet for this card.
All right. So, best bets. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Definitely taking Max Holloway as my best bet. As well as Jaquan Buckley, Santiago Ponzinibbio, and I think that is about it. Everything else I'm messing with on the live stream.
Live betting is going to be, I think it's going to pay dividends this entire year. Not even just tomorrow. I think the entire year. Live betting is probably the best moneymaker in MMA, period. It's the best way to bet. I know sometimes you lose value, but sometimes you gain a ton of value as well.
Man, I'm telling you, I've almost paid like Christmas presents plus on the Greg Hardy live line because what's his name dropped to, I mean, he dropped to like a plus 900.
Woo! And I'm after round
kicking,
1?
Yes, after round 1.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, if he gets a takedown, this is over.
Yeah.
And I'm still kicking myself over that. I only put $50. I was like, God damn it! In the back of my head, I was like, put $200. I mean, that's how confident I felt. If he kept eating those right hands and got confidence, like he didn't go out, I was like, I should put 200 on this, and I didn't. And when he won, it was like a bitter. It was like sweet and sour. Where I was like, I was happy I won, but I was more mad I did not put more money on that.
Damn. That's good though. That's a good bet. I mean, like I said, I didn't see that Greg Hardy was fading like everybody saw. I thought he was fine because I didn't really see from the get go. I just kind of saw midway through the first round, and I didn't get to see in between rounds. I didn't see that he was like gassed on the stool, but it's like the dude was just striking. I don't know how he was so tired, but yeah, I knew once that takedown was to happen, it was pretty much all over because Greg Hardy doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, and that was the problem too, because once the takedown happened, it wasn't like they worked for like a minute so you can get extra bets in. It was like the takedown happened and then the fight was over. So I was like, fuck.
He literally turtled up. I was like, what the hell? What the hell just happened?
Exactly. Because at least, normally there'll be that and then the line starts to drop a little bit so you can still get some value. But no, it was like that and then it was instantly over.
I was like, damn. I'm like, all right. Because I had like the over 2.5 rounds. Like, nope, that's not happening. This man just got taken down and he turtled up because he couldn't breathe. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I thought the man he was just striking. He looked phenomenal in round 1 and then nope.
There are levels to this MMA stuff.
You're right. There are levels to this, and I can't believe people actually were picking Greg Hardy in that fight pre-fight. I'm like, y'all crazy. I'm staying away from that fucking guy. But it is what it is. But that's our show for this week. But I gotta shout out our sponsor, guys. Head over to Manscaped.com and get the best male grooming products on the market to get that junk feeling and smelling great. Use promo code TFTA20 for 20% off your order and free shipping. But man, where can everybody find you on social media? Shout out everybody, everything, and let's get to it.
All right, you guys can follow me Instagram, Twitter, Why So Serious MMA, or Facebook if you're not weird. Friend request me at Peter Petties. Follow me on my journey back to fighting. Actually, we're almost at the end now. Back to pushing people in the face.
Oh man, I can't wait for that. Like I'm super stoked. I'm upset that I can't really go to the event if it is the event that I know you're talking about.
It's down there.
Yeah, I can't go because of the fact that I was told that no one is allowed there. So unfortunately, no fans going in, but it is what it is. Like I said, if you're down here, I will meet up with you afterwards. That's for certain. Absolutely. But yeah, that's what we got for you guys this week, guys. You know where to follow me at Fight Analyst on Twitter, the Fight Analyst on Instagram and Facebook. And guys, head over to thefightanalyst.com and get my package today. $25 for this week, $40 for 2 fights, $65 for the whole week. We got so much money to be made. And then, guys, head over to my Discord chat. It's only $10 for the whole month. We're going to be live betting through the entire night, every single card, every single time there's a fight, and we got live betting opportunities. We are going to be betting. So with that said, we will be catching you all cashing out the ticket window. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.